Hello viewers, Forza Motorsport here and welcome to my new car, the Ford Focus. I have purchased the DLC pack as well as the VIP, all that shebang. It was on deal. So I thought, why not? I need to trade in the MG and try something new. So why not try the Ford Focus? Today we are racing at Mugello. I didn't qualify. Not many people qualified in this race. That's how I started so far up the pack, unusually. And we're coming down towards our first corner with a lot of base Honda Civic, so it's going to be very interesting first corner. And there it is already. A few little bit of contact, but we're going to keep ourselves up the inside and see if we can make it work. A little bit of contact from our left hand side. I'm going to tuck in behind that Honda Civic and pretty much try and survive the first few corners. Looking out of this corner where the Honda Civic has gone, and they're not there, so presume they've gone off track. So we have a bit of free air, bit of free area where we can make things work. Right now I am using not an own built tune, but I'm borrowing a tune from another racing driver. I think it's HD Racing's tune I am using. I did try another tune previous to that and I found it very hard on the curbs and bumps. And I quite like going over curbs and bumps, so I've tried HD Racing's tune and it suits this car very well. Or suits my driving very well. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm still making it work and I quite like the tune. So if you've not tried it out yet, go and try it out, have a look at it and see what you think about it. Also let HD Racing know I quite like his tune. Thank you very much, bud. It's a great old tune. Right now I'm also running a car with 0 ABS, so you may hear me lock up from time to time when I'm going to a corner. Still getting used to where the car does choose to lock up and trying to really maximize what my knowledge is. I do need to go back to the drawing board and learn braking again without ABS, as well as get back into trail braking like I used to a lot. I've become quite lazy using the MG because the MG's brute force outpowered everything I lost by being lazy. So we're coming up to the corner here now, braking down the third gear. Like I say, a bit of trail braking will help this car coming round, and I'm letting off the brake and letting the car coast round. And like I say, this is where I become a little bit lazy. Looking on the left hand side, we do have our Link. The Link is a very capable car, very strong. So I'm going to try and stay beside them and use a bit of the slipstream they're going to have and donate to me kindly to try and keep up the cars in front. Braking at the 100-meter board now, down to third gear. You can see the Link went in a little bit deep. I managed to lovely outbrake them, and they ghost themselves out to not take the cars out in front, which is quite kind of them. Absolutely brilliant. And that's what I think we all should be able to do. Well, we have the option to do it, but a lot of people choose not to. That's a better way of saying it. Anyway, if you enjoy what you've seen here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'd also like to thank our channel members, which is Andy Good and Jeffrey Anderson, for being a member of this channel. If you'd also like to be a member of the channel or get access to uncut footage and unseen footage, hit that join button and become a member today, and you will also get a shout out in the video too. Back to the race, we are chasing after the Vauxhall in front. Now that Vauxhall and the driver are very quick, and I'm surprised actually how well they did with the Vauxhall, because I know the Vauxhall is a bit of an underdog in the races, and that person managed to make that Vauxhall work. And you'll see towards the end of the race and how quick they was in that Vauxhall. But we do have P1 and P2 position, which is absolutely brilliant. And I know the Ford Focus isn't the fastest car in the world either. It's nowhere near what the Audi can do, but it is a very confident car in the corners. The way it turns in, the back end steps out a little bit there. Would have been nice if I kept the glide going a little bit more, but the Ford Focus really does turn in very well. Its weak point is, I would say, mid-corner though. It does struggle a little bit mid-corner. That could also be down to my driver level, getting so used to the way the MG is. It is a very forgiving car to drive, and if you do make a mistake, the MG is just like, yeah, that's fine, we can sort it out, don't worry about it. Where the Ford Focus is like, come on, hammer me. I like it. We are losing quite a lot to the Astra in front. We are 2 seconds away. We are 4 seconds away from the cars behind, so we do have quite a large stale area as we're going into lap 3. Looking out for the 100-meter board, braking down to third gear and then tucking into second gear as we're coming round this part of the track. Accelerate up the hill, keeping to the right hand side and then onto the left hand side curb, and then sliding it over to the right. Over the sausages we go, and then to the outer part of the track you see in front. I do go a little bit wide. There was a pixel right there, but luckily enough, Forza Stewart said it's not a problem for a change. Usually you get hammered on that part of the track where you go a little bit pixel over. You usually get about 0.4 to a 0.6 penalty. So I guess they must be liking me today. I'm not too sure. And cutting this corner as we do right now, sliding the tail out a little bit too much. Still trying to get used to the way this car handles compared to the way the MG is. The MG is more about understeer and hammering itself through a corner, than the Focus is more about the first initial attack of the corner and letting the back end step out a little bit, and you riding that way the back end steps out. Like I say, again, I do need to go back to the drawing board and finesse my poor driving standards, to be quite honest with you, and really work upon myself and try to gain that back, because those temps that I will find by braking better, cornering better, and not using brute force to get me out of any mess will massively make this Focus stand right out, because I have seen this Focus win, and win by miles. So the only negative factor in this is me as the driver, who's not using the car the way it should and not driving the way I should. So anyway, we do a bit of a lockup coming up there, braking into third gear, coming round and out the other half of the corner, accelerating towards the start line. We are going to have to pit the next lap. We do find the Focus is quite good on tyres. You can see the front tyres are not on minor wear yet, but the rear tyres are used up a lot more than what they usually are. So I do think the tyre wear is a lot more even on this race, on the car, and I think it's a lot better than what the MG's tyre wear is anyway. As we come around here, start accelerating up the hill and tuck into our right hand side. We do have a gastric llama who's massively gaining upon us now. They are in the link. You see them in the rear view mirror. They're 1.7 seconds away, which I can understand. They are in the link. Is a much faster car, and I think they're also a much better driver as well. I can make all the excuses in the world. You know, if you've not noticed, there was a lot of latency. I do have poor network on the top. I'm joking. Nah, it's just I'm getting used to the car, and I wasn't expecting to be in this position already in the race right now. So I'm also getting used to the track. I think it's my first or second time I've actually done this version of the layout. It's very rare you get this version in touring cars. You usually get a very short version and do a lot of laps on that than you do actually having this longer version, which is quite nice. I do prefer the longer version. The only issue I did find with this longer version of the track, by lap 6 I thought I was done. I went over the start and finish line at lap 6 and I thought, right, we're done. And I was like, why isn't the screen loaded up? Oh, I've got another 2 laps to go. It's the first time, honestly, that I've ever sat there and felt that it felt way too long. I do surrender the position to Gastric Llama 853 in front and take the corner wider than I normally would. I'd rather them take that position and me being able to use the power of the link as slipstream and try and catch up to TMS Joe in front than fight the car in front. You can see they are a bit late on the brakes going through there, but we are going to have to go into the pits together. We're going to hold hands as we enter the pits and hopefully still be holding hands on the way out so I can try and stay with them. Coming out the other side of the pits, you can see they are in front. Give peace a chance from the car in front, number 14 on the rear, and we're going to go up the inside here, down to second gear, take the corner as tight as I can. You see there's a few cars that have chosen not to pit, so I can only presume they are on hard tyres. And I do think you can, if you are in the Lavorg, make a full 8 laps on hard tyres on this track, but I'm not 100% sure. You have to let me know down in the comments below whether that is possible. I do know it's possible at Daytona though, but I'm not too sure at Mugello. Anyway, they are creeping away from me in front, which is an absolute shame. Again, that's A, down to skill, and B, having a faster car. That car is what I would say is probably what the MG used to be now. Seeing though it does have the frontline power, but I do find the link feels heavy, if you understand what I mean. I find it very heavy into the corners and things like that, and it's not the best on brakes. So it could be my tune, because I was using a homemade tune that I made very early on in my Forza career. So it could be, like I say, down to my tune. But let me know down in the comments below if you think that the link feels a little bit heavy. Other people have said it to me. but like I said, it could be my tune. Skipping ahead to the start of the last lap, you can see TMS Joe is 11.2, 123, 1234, 123, whatever was going on there, I'm not too sure. But Gastric Llama, sorry, is 6 seconds ahead of me right now. They have been massively gaining upon me, but I am 17 seconds almost ahead of P4 position. Do go off track here and manage to get myself a 0.5 second penalty for it. Brilliant, always on the last lap as well, where you get a penalty. But luckily enough, there's nobody around for me to lose on them to capitalize upon. But it's pretty much the case of the last lap. And usually I get the penalty on this corner here because I've come through a lot quicker. And coming over the curb on the left hand side, rubbing the corner on the right hand side, and bring it back over to the right and then back to the left, and try and really maximize the corners as much as you can. Coming to the end of the race, we do have P3 in the bag, which is absolutely brilliant considering it's my first time in the Focus and I'm not familiar with the latter part of the track. But having podium position, absolutely brilliant. But because I'm a sucker for punishment, let's try it again. Let's go back to Mugello and see how it goes again. Again, this time I didn't qualify, but I have turned ABS back on to see if I'm any quicker or any more confident into the corners as I was before. I say I'm just trying it out to see if I'm better, but like I'm going back to the drawing board anyway and pretty much finessing my braking and trying to get better at it. We are about to hit the first corner in P14 position, so it's going to be quite chaotic here. I'm on the outside of the track, which I'm not very happy about. I'd rather be on the inside of this corner than the outside because usually everybody gets bunted out wide. Managed to make a few gains through here. We're now in P8 position, which is huge from P14. Just through one corner alone. I'm going to tuck up the inside here, trying to make a move. There we are, P7, and we're going to hopefully take P6. Very close. Nope, P6 is going over the front of me. Fair enough. So the white Audi took the P6 out. Well, we're in P7 still, can't grumble at that. Having to brake now due to a person coming back on the track and then going straight back to the racing line. So I back off and let them take a position, and I'm not too sure what happened there, but they went back off track. So I guess they prefer not being on the darker stuff and trying to stay within the race. So like I say, I'm not sure what happened, but they definitely went flying. Keeping up behind Kiwi or Queenie, however you say it. I give him a little nudge by accident, it wasn't unintentional, and getting battered around by two Audis is not a position you want to be in. You don't want to be in a sandwich between them two cars. But we have made P6 work. P6 is now tucking in behind me. I do have the slipstream from Mud 1689 in front, so we're going to try and maximize a bit of that really. Coming through a little bit slow, a little bit clumsy, and accelerating out the other side. Again, it's weird because when you go back to using ABS, you have to brake earlier than what you normally would because having ABS you don't slow down as well as you would without ABS. But coming up into the darker part of the track, well, the lighter part of the tarmac, that's your braking point, down to third gear, coasting it round, and accelerating out the other side towards the start and finish line. The cars in front are 0.8 seconds away, but I do have a Lavorg behind me. He's going to use my slipstream and then give me a little nudge to say, come on buddy, let's work together, we can go faster. Well, you could certainly go faster anyway, you're a bit slow through here. Thank you for Lee Chung for that one. Coming up to our first corner now, looking at the 100 meter board, hard on the brakes, down to third gear again. He's going a little bit wide here. Like I say, I'm so used to not having ABS. Going back onto ABS, it was a bit of weird to realise I'm not actually braking in corners properly. Anyway, I give Lee Chung the position, but Lee Chung ultimately surrenders it and says, come on mate, get going, you can be faster than this. Which is fair enough, thank you very much buddy for that one, and pushing me along, really giving me the assistance I need, because I sucked, I did suck. Anyway, going through here, look on your left hand side, rubbing that curb on your left hand side and cutting the corner as we do on the right, trying to keep it over to the right hand side, and then you can really maximize this left hander and going a little bit faster than what I did because you want to go out to the outer part of the track, back to the left and cutting across on the right. Accelerate up the hill, we're trying to catch up to the Honda Civic in front. You see Lee Chung is right up behind me and I go very close to the outer part of the track there. We are 4 seconds up on this lap. Obviously we didn't have to start the race, but we are catching up to Luigi 6254, which is absolutely brilliant. Now we just need to find a way to get past this person. Hopefully, with Lee Chung right beside me right now, is going to confuse the car in front on how to defend their position. So I'm going to try and sneak up on the inside here and do the old switcheroo right there and come up on the inside of these two corners here. Push them a little bit wide, a little bit of contact going through there. But ultimately, I got that move done. And the way I went out that corner is absolutely brilliant. Braking at the newer part of the track, down to third gear, coasting it in. Lee Chung also makes that position work and is right behind me. Lucky again, they have the slipstream to capitalize upon that as we're coming over the start and finish line. We are now 4.6 seconds away from Mud 1689, which is a huge advantage they have upon us. Lee Chung doesn't give us a speed boost this lap, but ultimately takes that position. I'm perfectly happy with that. Rather be following them and using their slipstream, because they are going to be faster through this track than I am, and hopefully with their slipstream I'll be able to capitalize upon that. But coming through this first section of the track now, going through absolutely lovely through there, to clip of the curbs, get the tail round and to the outer part of the track. You see Lee Chung had a much better exit than I did, but we are 2 seconds up in this lap, which is brilliant, and that's what you want to see. As you have the stale air, nobody else around you, you want to see your lap time improve on that initial first lap to where you're consistent, and then the rest of the laps be around about the same ballpark area, so you know you are having a consistent lap time each time around, rather than going faster and faster, because really you should be faster to start with, and then being consistent through it than you are just getting better and better. Anyway, I digress. We're using the curve as much as I can. Up the corner we go, accelerating out of the corner, keeping to our left hand side, and then braking at the crane, down to third gear. Over the curb we go, and then back over the left hand side. Over the curb we go, clip of the sausages, and so out the other side, going a little bit wide through there. But luckily enough, no penalty is found, so the stewards are really liking me for the last few races, except for that last lap. They penalised me, but I guess they had to do something about it. Anyway, going through this S part of the track, want to use the curves as much as you can, trying to keep the car as straight as you can, and clipping the grass on the right hand side, and out the corner we go. Flat out down through the section as soon as you get to the new tarmac, braking down to third gear and turning in. Coming around this corner, halfway around the corner, start accelerating out the other side. You can see Lee Chung is 3 seconds ahead of me now. That's how much I was holding him up by, which is an absolute shame, because I'd hold him up a little bit more and have that position, but you know, it's time I need to find. You see someone's in the pits already, so I presume either their tyres are goosed on these set of tyres, or they're on soft tyres. One or the other. I don't think you can get 3 laps out of soft tyres unless you really are ballsy. Well, there could be in a Lavorg and making a softer hard play. Well, I don't know. Let's see what car they had. Anyway, we are in P4 position. Like I said, we are 4 seconds away from Lee Chung, but we are 4 seconds away from P5 position. That also has a 2.65 second penalty. And again, we are doing better this lap around. Start of lap 5 coming out of the pits. A few people chose not to pit. You see Lee Chung is now 27 seconds ahead. So they must be on hard tyres and doing a no pit strategy. I wonder, again, like I say, I wonder if you can make it work. I know you can at Daytona and Lavorg, but I'm not too sure if you can at Mugello. It is a fast track and the corners are fast. So only let me know down in the comments below if it can be done in Mugello. But we are in P6 position. Vanished Elm is at 4.6 seconds ahead with a 1.1 second penalty. So we're going to have to see if we can catch up upon them and see if we can make that work. We have 3 laps to go. Like I say, it is 3 very long laps, 2 minutes a lap. Well, my best is a 2:17 right now, which is very slow. That is not good. I did a 2:01 on the previous race, so I have a lot of time to find. Wow, that is 16 seconds away from my previous best lap. That is terrible. Oh my gosh. My gosh. I didn't realize it was that bad. But thinking about it now, God blimey, that is... Ooh. Yeah, anyway, nothing like a bit of a red face right now coming through these corners, using the curve as much as possible, and there you get a bit of rotation from that sausage for the back end of the car. Keeping to your left hand side, braking at the hut, down to third gear, coasting it round this corner, and then trying to stay on the darker part of the track where it's a bit more grip, and accelerating out the other side, through these S's here, over the curve as much as you can, trying to keep the car straight as you can, cutting the grass a little bit, and then down this straight as we go. As soon as we get onto the newer tarmac, which is here, braking down to third gear, coasting it round this corner, and then start accelerating as you're halfway around towards the start and finish line and out the other side. We are now 4.3 seconds away from the car in front, but Lee Chung is still 23 seconds ahead. Lee Chung has gone into the pits, so they may have been on medium tires, and then they're probably going to go into soft this time around, possibly. Seems like a good strategy to play, because then you got twice better grip overall. Now I wonder if Lee Chung, if you do watch this, let me know what your strategy was down in the comments below. We are now 8 seconds away from Mud 1689, and we are in P5 overall. We are trying to catch up to Vanished Elm, but they have made a half a second lead from me right now. Looking up, I can still see them in front, which looks like they are being held up by the cars in front. And Lee Chung is now in P4 position. Wow, really? I didn't even pass him in the pits. Wow, crikey. We are 5 seconds up this lap, so I am starting to find my pace again a little bit. And looking enough, we do have the stale air where we're not battling against other cars, and we can really start setting a pace down. 6 seconds up already, looking to the outer part of the track, and then back over on the right hand side, cutting the corner as much as you can, accelerating up the hill we go. A little bit of tyre rub through there. I lost half a second through that section alone, which is an absolute shame. So being a little bit overly cautious here down the second gear, where I should be in third gear going a lot faster. So we are losing a few tenths here and there. But overall, we're still 5.8 seconds up on our previous best. We did manage to set on our last lap a 2:07, which is, we have found 10 seconds. We found another 5 seconds this lap. We can really, I know I can do a 2:01, and that's what I really want to do. I want to try and get into the lower, if not to the late 159s. I know if I can do that, I'll be pretty confident throughout the race. But as we're coming up around our final corner, last lap going a little bit wide, coming out of the exit and accelerating down the straight, we are 4.4 seconds away from P4 position. And nobody has entered the pits this lap, so it's basically going to be brute force and trying to work our way through it. At the start of lap 8, we have caught up a second to Vanished Elm 8478 in front, and like I say, hopefully with the focus being better on tyres, hopefully their tyres are pretty much goosed. That means I'll be able to capitalise upon that. 3 seconds away now as we come up the hill, over the curb and left hand side. I did back off a little bit, I did turn in a little bit early. And over to the right hand side, should be hitting those sausages on the right hand side, really maximising that corner. But I took it a bit more cautiously. We did manage to set our best of a 2:01.094, which is a very good lap time. Again, I would rather knock another second or two off that and be in the late 159s, but time will tell as I get more used to the focus. Coming round here, using the curb a little bit, letting the back end step out and accelerating to the side. Over the curb on the left hand side and cutting the corner on the right, and up the hill we go. We are massively gaining on the car in front, using the curb to maximize rotation of the car, and out the other side we go. Up the hill, we are not the fastest on this lap, we are 1/10 down, but we are on minor wear on our tires, which is understandable, but we are still keeping up within the pace within a 10th, which is brilliant. We are now 0.6 seconds away from the car in front, and we're going to try and see now where we can make a move. I'm going to look up the inside here, but I'm going to give them a little bit of a nudge by accident. They are going a little bit slow, so I know damn well their tyres are goosed, and it's more or less of trying to maximize this. Getting up right behind us so you can do a bit of a slingshot move or a bit of slipstream, but ultimately it doesn't work into this corner. Braking a little bit later than them, going around the outside. I was hoping they'd take a bit more of an inner part of the track, but I guess not. As we come out of the corner, they do intentionally give me a little love tap, sends my car a little bit floppy, but it doesn't matter because they have a 1.5 second penalty, so I've got P4 position overall. Thank you all for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.